society, get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm gonna die, I'll die now, right here fighting you. If I'm gonna die, you my enemy. My enemy is the white people, not Vietcong, or Chinese, or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
No, I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago. And I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody.
Seems to me that white America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That America freed the slave in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation, but gave the slaves no land. And at the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base. And yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa, who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. And when white Americans tell the Negroes to lift himself by his own bootstraps, it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps.
I'm saying that the Nation of Islam should evolve into what we call the Realist Temple on earth. We didn't have a choice. We was already doing for ourselves. Even with all the oppression, we were accomplishing things far greater than the black and blacks have done. They've done very little, except bring you the teaching, the belief, because that's all teachings is. I believe. We don't need to believe no more. We need to know.
Everybody join.
Just keep it going. Just keep it going.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us. So ain't nobody
in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear? Here it goes. Free your mind.
keep it real.
What dear?
Because I keeps it real like that. I keeps it real.
It's your way. Just keep it going.
I am also your soul brother. Number one.
Everybody who is black and interested in black people, let us sit down and find out how we can get together in one direction against one enemy and accomplish this job overnight.
When soul singer and black activist Sam Cooke wrote the lyrics to his song, "A Change Is Gonna Come," it was very direct and to the point. With some changes to it, the song was still digestible. In the year 2019, black folks continue to go through the change rather than direct the change. A community activist named Taalik Ibn'rad has made an appeal similar to what Sam Cooke was asking for. A change. It's said that the meek shall inherit the earth. We ask when. When will the landlords give the meek a free lease? Mr. Ibn'rad is humbly asking for the state of Mississippi. This is Dusty Basement Studios, and we approve of this message.
Right. Bro, you a genius. I ain't gonna lie. This is like, bro, you was a genius. I swear. You're gonna go down like Elijah Muhammad or Malcolm X with this one. You finna go down in history with this one. I swear to God, bro.
Well, I'm their child. You know, we all their children.
Yeah, but bro, you know, you your own, you different, bro. Yeah. I mean, to think of that. I mean, bro, this is genius. Like, I don't just say stuff just to be saying it. Like, I swear to God, bro, you are really on something to come up with this. I don't know how you came up with this.
But Charles Blow talks about the fact that if you really want black power, going into 6 states. Now, I'm going to combine this with what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us as it relates to get states that you control. And so when you look at the idea of returning back Louisiana, as far north as Maryland, Alabama, okay, the Carolinas, there's a lot of black folk. Mississippi is the largest state of black folk. More black folk in Mississippi than any other state in the 50. And so if we were to do that and go into our own, become our own senators, we would up the amount of black senators immediately, Congress people immediately. We would up, and by the way, when you run in the state, when you run in certain things, you don't have to ask nobody for reparations. They give you reparations. Something we can do. This is doable.
The Mississippi campaign represents everything that you claim that you want. The beginning of an all-black independent nation. The ability to control your own resources. Your politics. Law. Be able to do your own thing for a change. Create an economy. Create and produce goods that Africa or anybody on the planet would want. You're fake, you don't want to do nothing. 3 hours talking about the Mississippi campaign.
Let's see, Taalik says, can you send a shout out to my platform, the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry? Our theme this year is After Purge Comes the Healing. Shout out to your platform, Taalik. All you guys with continuing to stretch in perspective, to stretch possible, and to continue bring healing into the space of yourself and others. Yes.
It's all flowing. Just keep it going. My black people about the unit, nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like at the king, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple. Reality's temple. My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like at the king, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire. It's all flowing. Just keep it going.
Himself, and you don't realize it. You don't realize it that God has been imprisoned. The devil was able to imprison God. So right inside your own self, your God self has been imprisoned, and you have a false sense of self running rampant inside the temple. This is why, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We have to bring reality's temple here on earth. Reality's temple here on earth.
Yes, sir.
We have to realize the enemy is running rampant inside this temple.
And that is Brother Taalik from the Reality Temples on Earth channel. And if you get a chance to subscribe, please do subscribe to his channel. He's a good brother. You know, wants to do good constructive things. He has good information to provide. So please do check out his channel if you get a chance.
My brother Angel Snub 7 at the Realities Temple, and to give props to him, because I listened to all of Angel Snub 7's videos. I think that he comes from a different angle, and there's a powerful message in a lot of the videos that he put out, and I try to catch all of them. I look at him as a free thinker and a person that's willing to challenge those of which he don't agree with or which he may think differently from, and I really respect him for that. He's challenged KNBS, and he has also challenged the Black supremacy movement as well. And I have nothing against that, because that which cannot be challenged cannot stand, and will not stand, and will not survive the test of time. How many challenges we can withstand will determine how long we will be able to stand.
It's all flowing. Just keep it going.
You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so.
Good evening, soul brothers and sisters. This is Tangi Cox, the Black Sheep, and I am propositioning you to entertain just a little while of being in reality. And this is gonna hurt soul sisters and brothers, because a lot of us cannot accept reality. I empower you to, for 1 year, to subscribe to the Reality Temple on Earth. And at the end of 12 months, draw your conclusion of what have you learned in that amount of time. I empower you. You will never, ever, ever think, feel, or entertain nonsense ever again, period. I would like to see my soul sisters and brothers awaken. This requires time. You need to spend about a year watching, researching, and looking. Reality Temple on Earth is life-changing, and I stand on that.
Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly.
That's right. I'm proud to be a Southern girl. I'm gonna take you back a little bit. Where? Back to Texas, where everything is bigger. You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so.
Now, what was that you were saying earlier, T? What I was saying was. Now, what was that you were saying earlier, T? What I was saying was. What you do? What you do? Where you at? Where you at? Oh, you got plans? Oh, you got plans? Well, don't say that. Shut your trap. Unless you hear. Unless you open your.
Just keep it going.
Coming. Come on through. Come on, y'all. We want to see you.
It's going down tonight, y'all.
Throughout the 19th century and all across the United States, brand new settlements popped up along the American landscape as folks migrated west. Towns were especially seen post-Civil War, when the country wasn't embroiled by conflict and could focus more on westward expansion. No such town defines this latter sentimentality quite like Wild West lore, both built and established entirely by African Americans during the Reconstruction period. To understand more about its longevity and surviving the test of time, as well as to shine light onto one of the most fascinating bits of American history, here is a closer look
Bro, you a genius. I ain't gonna lie. I swear, you're gonna go down like a Elijah Muhammad or a Malcolm X with this one. You finna go down in history with this one. I swear to God, bro. Yeah, but bro, you know, you your own. You different, bro. Yeah. I mean, to think of that. I mean, bro, this is genius. Like, I don't just say stuff just to be saying it. Like, I swear to God, bro, you are really on something to come up with this. I don't know how you came up with this.
Now, what was that you were saying earlier, T? What I was saying was, what you do? What you do? Where you at? Where you at? Oh, you got plans? Oh, you got plans? Well, don't say that. Shut your trap unless you hear. Unless you.
I'm ready. I've always been ready. I've wanted to be a part of this group since I was 2 years old. I'm ready. That's up. Joseph, I'm not myself. Trust me.
We didn't have a choice. We was already doing it for ourselves. We don't need to believe no more. We need to know.
Come on, y'all. Going down tonight, y'all. Y'all coming. Come on through. Come on, y'all. We want to see you. It's going down tonight, y'all.
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
All righty. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, yes, this is your brother, your soul brother Taalib, coming back at you live. And I just wanted to, let y'all know that actually, this situation right now, what's taking place, since your former president, now again President-elect Donald Trump, has been reelected to the White House. In this situation with the Republicans and Democrats and all that, I would like to say that this situation here is going to put us in the dark period in this country. We're about to enter a real dark period, and more darker than what I've seen in my whole entire lifetime, because of the way that these politics is playing out. And you know, I don't think sitting up here with me speaking on what Trump may do needs any introduction, because many of you know that he was serious the first time during his first time around in the White House. And now that the Republicans also look to take full control of both houses, the Congress and House of Representatives, and the unified control with the controlled Republican Senate, is going to definitely give Trump, you know, a lead way to doing what he actually wanted to do all the time. And with this thing called Project 25 that he's been connectedly associated with, that definitely don't look good. But here's the thing. He hasn't gotten in there yet. So we don't exactly know what may go down. But it is definitely strong speculations that he's going to hold on to his promises, because that's something that we all have to expect, whether we agree with him or not. But the thing with that is that I'm not going to even go into all this talk I've been hearing about on social media and the internet about why the Democrats lost, along with Kamala Harris. You know, I'm not going to go into that because that's not necessary. That's dead weight. Is you know, you can't cry over spilt milk, like they say. So that's just water up under the bridge. All we got to do now is look forward to dealing with what's going to happen after January 20th, 2025, when he is sworn in as the 47th president, this time, of the United States. And we're just going to have to, you know, get a grip on reality for what it is. We've been trying to warn y'all about this. You know, I mean, many of us may have wanted Kamala to win just to, you know, circumvent his chances of being able to get back into the presidency. But the reality is that didn't happen. It didn't pan out that way. And again, going back to what I was trying to finish to say, we warned you about this from this platform. And, you know, also, many of you who may be listening to this live, you know, not only, of course, Caucasians, but you had a lot of other different people that voted for him, knowing that, or didn't, or not realizing that he didn't have their best interests anyway as minorities in this country. Like, first of all, with the Hispanics, and this, particularly the Mexicans as well, and then the Puerto Ricans and stuff. And also, of course, we know he definitely ain't got soul brothers and sisters, you know, in his best interest plans. And that's right off the top. So it shouldn't be no wondering about that, you know. But many of you anyway, many of you soul brothers and sisters, you know, out of respect for the platform, I'm just going to coin it that way because, you know, I really want to say something else about that. But we all got our own mixed feelings about this situation. And that's one thing I do want to kind of get into, because those of you, especially that are soul brothers and sisters, you know, who are descendants of dark-skinned slaves born in America, should have known off the top that this guy who has a strong known history as a racist, a strong known history with supporting white supremacy and representing white supremacy, because you were frustrated and, you know, you let your emotions get to you because you didn't feel like Joe Biden delivered. And yes, I could concur with that in a lot of ways. Yes, no, he didn't deliver. You know, like on the promises that he made about getting the George Floyd Police Accountability Act passed so that these police could stop, you know, killing us out here because they see the N-word, you know, or getting the John Lewis Voting Rights Act passed and different other stuff that he promised, which he didn't do, even when the Democrats had control of both the houses and the Senate before the 2022 elections, where they lost the Senate. You know, we have to, this is why I don't really want to get into the middle of that, because either way we look at it, we as soul people are on our own. And to tell you the truth, these other minorities don't know it yet, but they are on their own. You know, but instead of them trying to come together with us on a common collective basis of that understanding to do something to change all of our, you know, existences in this country as different ethnicity groups of people. You know, my thing is, and my attitude has always been like, you know, they got to learn on their own. I mean, we saw that just recently with the Haitians when they was being labeled as cat and dog eaters. You know, once again they disrespected Puerto Ricans by calling they island trash and all that kind of stuff. And we know during Trump's last presidential term, when he first got in there a few years ago, and there was a big hurricane in Puerto Rico, and there was a lot of damage, you know, that hurricane created on that island. And all he could do was go down there and throw tissue at them and tell them everything gonna be good. So, you know, I mean, it's like, but I bet you 9 times out of 10, there was some Puerto Ricans that voted for him this time in this 2024 election. Like there were Mexicans, like there were other Latinos, you know, who voted against their own best interests, because he's already dictated throughout his time of history prior and then after he got into politics, that he did not care anything about people that don't look like him. You know, he called Mexicans criminals, you know, and all that. But then you got these other Hispanics that agreed with him and decided to vote for him against their own best interests, even if that means that some of their relatives may get deported because they vote for him. You see what I'm saying? See, in this land, it's all about every man being for himself. Right now, I don't know about any other countries, but as far as when it comes to internal social issues, but I know in this one, there's no type of backbone when it comes to unity of any kind. And, you know, the truth of the matter is that a lot of these Caucasians who voted for him, especially those who are of considered of the lower class kind, is definitely going to get their rude awakening call again, and even worse, you know. And see, another thing too about this situation is that number one, people did not want Kamala Harris in there, not because she was a ex-criminal prosecutor in California. It was all about based on the fact that she was a woman. Because listen, remember when Trump ran the first time against Hillary Clinton, who was another woman on the Democratic Party ticket side that ran against him, she won the popular vote, but he still got in there through the electoral votes. You see, so this is the second time around, and definitely they wasn't trying to let no black woman up in there, period. You know, whether you question her ethnicity, identity, or whatever, the fact is that she is considered black, at least in this country, you know. So, and she may have some half Asian descent in her because of her mother being from the country of India. But we know that she's black because her father was from Jamaica, you know, and so that's all they need to know. Oh, you got an ounce, you got that 5th ounce of Negro in you. That's all we need to see. So, number one, she got 2 strikes against her. She's dark skinned, she's a dark skinned woman, and she's a woman. So that's just right off the bat, that's 2 strikes against her. Wasn't no way she was gonna get in there. I even read up on something today where somebody said that it wasn't in hell's chance that she was gonna beat Donald Trump in a 100-day campaign, you know, and I had to concur with that according to the situation. Because when Joe Biden stepped down in the middle of the campaign, she wasn't prepared to really take all that on with running against Trump. So, I mean, you know, but neither here nor less, you know, like I said, we're in a dark hour right now. We are in a very dark hour. And if we as soul people are not prepared, which we won't be going into January 20th of next year, then we might as well face whatever's coming to us. And I hate to be interrupted for a second, but I would definitely be back at you in a moment because I have to tend to something real quick. So, brother Taalik, hold it down for a few minutes until I get right back, if you don't mind.
All right.
Learning about the good fortune and have that shit Warning. Stand by for countdown. Prepare audience with maximum impact. Full of earth beginners.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. I'm a soul man, no. I'm a soul man. Yes, I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man, Lord.
You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so.
They see something. What can you learn from a bum, Omar? Amsterdam? What I learned from a bum, maybe it's what not to do.
There's a reason why, after 100 channels destroyed, Angel Snuff 7 is still here. There's a reason that you don't take me seriously.
Okay, I'm back at you. Okay, back at you. Okay, back at y'all again. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. Well, I'm right back at y'all again, fam. Okay, just had to do something for a second. Like I said, I'm right back at y'all. So first of all, where I left off at, I wanted to say that I feel that at this point in time, because I've been, hearing things and all that kind of stuff by ear. And, like someone once said, the streets talk. And, what's happening right now is that my concern is primarily what I'm going to speak about is, not why those blacks voted okay for Donald Trump. Those soul brothers and sisters that voted for Trump, why they voted for him is out the question. Many of us, who have mixed feelings about that alone, whether you realize it or not. Soul people, brothers and sisters of soul, I just want y'all to know that it might be more of an eternal war among us because of them voting for Trump. Now, I get it. In this country, you're supposed to have a right to vote for who you want to vote for. Okay, but at the same time, we got to look at the candidate that was elected. And we got to look at the nature of things behind what his plans are. Because like I said before, he definitely ain't got us in his plans as far as for anything that's going to be for the better of the country in general. And, see, what's happening with that is that what's gonna end up happening is that once he gets sworn in, you're gonna start seeing more and more, and I'm not saying this either to promote violence. I'm gonna repeat myself. I'm not saying this to promote violence because that's something I just simply don't do. Okay, but here's my thing with that, because this is reality, what I'm about to give you, is that a lot of black people who voted for Kamala Harris are pissed off at other black people that voted for Trump. And you know what that means? That means the fact that we are already divided as a group in this country to begin with, that's going to even more extend the division among soul brothers and sisters in this country. Now, we've been here for the past few years trying to get our brothers and sisters of soul to try to get on this train, to try to board with us on this train to get this Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign ideal rolling finally for once and for all. But at the same time, that situation, and we gonna definitely continue on doing that. I want to also make that perfectly clear. But at the same time, it's gonna make our job harder on this end. And I know that that's a hard pill to swallow, especially for some of those of you who actually support Operation Exodus Mississippi, or is in concurrence with the ideal Operation Exodus Mississippi. I do understand that that's a hard pill to swallow. but you just got to be strong and stay on board of the soul train with us, you know, because this is wartime that we're in. And it's more challenging when you're dealing with psychological warfare than when you're dealing with physical warfare. And that's always been the right and exact truth in any type of war that has ever happened in human history on this planet Earth. So just be mindful of that. But at the same time, you know, what's going to happen is that you're going to find out that the division among soul brothers and sisters in this country, like it's been for decades and hundreds of years since we've been up under what we call slavery, chattel slavery or slavery, either way it go, you know, we're going to be dealing with a very extended situation of being divided amongst each other because of this 2024 election that just passed us by. And I hate to say it because as I, you know, even in my own immediate local surroundings where I'm at, I pay attention to the situation, of course, every second chance I get. And, you know, what I see is when I see certain soul brothers and sisters walking out here in the streets with that look on their face like they not really concerned about nothing, and even some of them are just walking around just happy-go-lucky, like it ain't, like nothing is wrong in the world that we're living in at all, you know, that tells me right there, number one, that's a red flag. And number two, it's a probability chance that that soul brother or sister may have voted for Trump, you know. So I'm just saying, the way things are looking with us as a group, first, mainly and foremost, before we even look at what's going on with other people in this situation, you know, the division is definitely going to be increased between us. Now, whether we voted for Kamala or Trump, it don't really make no difference, because when you're talking about feelings getting involved with this type of situation, with this election, you talking about high emotions. And so brothers and sisters have always been known not to know how to control our emotions. That's been one of our setbacks as a group forever in this nation, is that we do not have no control over our emotions. We let our emotions dominate everything we say or do, just about, you see. So what's going to happen is that if you thought the unquote black on black murder crime rate was high, it's going to really be higher. And hey, I know some of you don't want to hear that. I don't even want to bring it up, but I got to say it for what it is. It's part of reality. Because, like I said, I'm hearing people out here talking. As a matter of fact, you know, out of respect for the anonymity of the individual, one individual that I recently was speaking with,
you know, but out of respect for his anonymity, I'm not going to even mention my relation to him. But I'm going to say this. What he told me was, even if it's relatives that voted for Trump, he would never have nothing to do with them. They could never be worthy to be in his presence, even to have a conversation, let alone visit him at his house. And I want to say this. There are many, many, many soul brothers and sisters with families, as I speak right now, that are certainly divided over this. It's no doubt. If anyone can find a doubt in that anywhere, come on this live right now and let me know. Because I would not put no doubt. I would not put nothing past that as a doubt. That there are millions, and you know it's supposed to be now around 50 million of us in this country. So you talking about amongst tens of millions of us with families too that are being divided over this situation. So you know the families are being divided over this situation. How you think the average common soul black person on the streets that you may run into, of course, ain't gonna have them same feelings. So there go another divisive situation among us as a group because of this election and the outcome of it. You see, so I just wanted to put that out there to let y'all know that we're gonna probably see blood filling the streets of many so-called communities where you're gonna find many of us at because of this situation. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be nowhere around it. Especially if it go down like that. I don't want to even be nowhere around it. As a matter of fact, now it's making me more want to stay away from heavily populated areas where our people are in this country. Because if we get off the bus, if I get off the plane or bus, I'm liable to catch a bullet. I mean, do you know how serious this election has as an impact on this whole nation right now? You even see white folks like where I'm at walking around here, quiet, ain't got too much to say. Because people really thought that Kamala was going to win this election. And I sort of thought she was too. But you know what? Like we've been warning you from this platform for years. Don't underestimate nothing that can happen within these United States of America, because this is an unpredictable nation, especially based off the history of its inception as a nation. So, I mean, we can't underscore anything what might happen in this country. And before I get tongue-tied, I would simply like to yield the mic over to Brother Taalik, if he has anything to say in regards to this. Hey, brother, if you wasn't ready, man, I could keep going.
Hold on a second.
All right.
Yeah, actually, I already talked about this thing earlier.
Okay.
I went live and talked about this earlier.
Okay.
But we can add some, get some clarification, add some other things on here.
Yeah.
I would assume, and you don't have to say, but I would assume that you went out and voted for Kamala Harris. I would assume. There's some type of fear, some type of worry with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And this is, the thing about religion is sold because of fear.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you go out and I noticed in Kamala Harris, her campaign speeches, there's a focus on fear. If this man get elected, because we love each other, but if you vote for this man, all the hate gonna come out. That was her dialogue. That's how she spoken. And with religion, that's how religion is sold, through fear.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe in God, it's gonna happen to you. Hellfire, damnation. It sounds, her whole rhetoric sounds like a preacher's speech, like I was in church somewhere. He's nothing but a man. That's all he is. He's no different than any other Caucasian person that has been in the White House. No different. I don't see nothing that he's done no different than any other Caucasian. All the other Caucasians, you can call them racist. And up until Obama, all of them have been Caucasian people. Up until Obama. And all these fears, why do you fear this man, but you don't fear the ones that actually, Dr. King and Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm, those presidents? Why isn't there so much fear? Where was all this fear? Where's all this fear coming from? Because 2016, Donald Trump was president for 4 years, right? What did he do that bring all this fear? Was you lynched? Was your baby brother lynched? He took food out of your mouth? What did the man do? You say he racist. Neely Fuller Jr. said, all of them are racist until proven otherwise. Just because somebody smile and skin and grin in your face, there's people in Congress right now. You worried about the president. The president is limited in his power. The powers that be come from out of the Congress, the Senate, the Senate and the House of Representatives. You got a bunch of old suckers, including Biden himself, that was against black folks in the 60s and the 70s.
And the 90s.
But yeah, and the 90s. But they talk about what Trump this and Trump that. I'm not defending Trump. I have no interest in defending Trump. He has incredible lawyers. He has incredible press. They can defend. He can defend himself. I'm just putting it on the table. Why are you so scared? And this snake has not bit you. What make you fear? Why are you scared? I've seen videos on the internet, especially with black women. Oh, we're going to go back into slavery because of Trump. He was in office in 2016. Why you didn't go into slavery? What make you think this man by himself, he represents going back into slavery? What makes him so different than Ronald Reagan? Ronald Reagan put crack in our neighborhood. Ronald Reagan put crack in our neighborhood and destroyed the community for decades. Some of you out there are crack babies. And there's something else during the 80s that they don't talk about that coincide with the crack epidemic. There was a teenage pregnancy epidemic in the black community too. Some of y'all are almost as old as your mother. You might be 14 years because your mama had you when she was 10, 11, 12, 15. And it started in my generation when I was a little boy.
the young girl was popping up getting pregnant. When I was in I started seeing it happen when I was in a freshman in high school. Like, damn, what these girls, they just started getting knocked up. And we accepted it. Like we accepted the crack. We accepted these things. We didn't say, no, we're not going to tolerate it. No, we accepted these things in our community. They were acceptable. At one time, things like this wasn't acceptable, this type of behavior. Certain things in our community, we did not tolerate. So a lot of people didn't do it because you get around folks, you're going to get talked about. Like the oral sex thing. It's brothers and sisters right now, they would tell you in your face, oh, I suck a lot of digger line. I lick a lot of poo-tang. Lick, lick, lick. My mama said licking and lapping. When I was growing up, you didn't do that in our community. If you did it, you kept it to yourself. My mom be the first one to talk about how nasty and disgusting you are, especially black women. They said, go get you a white woman somewhere. We don't do that. But now it's acceptable. All kinds of freakishness and disgusting behavior. We accept anything, do anything. And what I'm hearing is they're using Donald Trump like he's the devil, like they do in religion. All the evil in the world because of the devil. Everything that happened to America, oh, it's because of Donald Trump. Donald Trump the devil. He gonna do this, he gonna do that, blah, blah, blah. All these things was happening and they was in progress before this man was even born. And he's a white guy. He's gonna do what white guys supposed to do because that's how this country was made. No, you want the one, this man, at least he's telling you something. What was that Malcolm said? Malcolm said, I'd rather deal with the one that tell me in my face what the deal is rather than the ones that stab me in the back. That's Joe Biden and those people like that. That's what they do. I'd rather deal with somebody that say, I don't like you in my face. Well, at least I know where you stand. I know what I'm dealing with. You got these suckers that smile in your face and stab you in the back. But when did Donald Trump become this devil person? And why we got to vote Democrat when the Democrats for the 4 years ain't did a damn thing for us for sure. You want some more? Nothing. It's the lesser of two evils. But from my position, I did see Donald Trump talk to Ice Cube. Ice Cube had some type of thing, proposal he wanted to. He talked to Ice Cube. He talked to Kanye West. He talked to, who did Biden talk to about anything? They ain't talked to nobody. The Democrats basically destroyed the conversation for the foundational Black American movement because they told them outright, we ain't interested in your reparation. They told them outright. Bernie Sanders and Kamala Harris, I think she was, they told them, we can do certain things. I give you some extra bologna in the lunchroom. I'm not giving you no reparation. But these are the good guys. The good guys are not giving you nothing. They're not giving you nothing. But what is it that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad always taught, we love those who give us nothing. And when Lyndon Baines Johnson in the 60s signed legislation for the civil rights era, they caught him making a statement. He said, because of these crumbs, I'm paraphrasing, because of these crumbs we gave these Negroes, they're going to be loyal to the Democrats for 200 years. And we're loyal. And we love because they give us nothing. And we fall for these traps. Trump is a devil. He's a racist. Who ain't a racist in this country? If Biden is better, the Democrats is better, what have they done for you lately? They ain't give you nothing, but you loyal to them. And they giving you nothing. And this hype about Kamala Harris is nothing but, I want a black woman president. You know, the Obama thing all over again. That's all that's about. They want the idea of a black woman as president. The first female, and she's black. That's what they fallen in love with. The idea. Like I said earlier, they in love with the idea that Umar Johnson is building a church. I mean, a school. This man been doing this since at least 2014. This is 2024. All the children that's supposed to go to Dr. Umar's school, all of them are grown with children of their own. And this man still talking about donate to my cash app for the African school. And they do it. They still supporting him. And matter of fact, he's so confident about himself. I saw a video where he talking about, I'm the new black leader. Who made him leader? I know I didn't vote for Umar Johnson. But now he's so confident, I'm the black leader. You can't even build a school. But Donald Trump is the devil. He's the one to watch out. All these horrible things gonna happen because Donald Trump is in office. But it didn't happen in the first time. He was in office from 2016 to 2020, right? What did he do to hurt you? You more in debt, and your country is at war with Joe Biden than with Donald Trump. There was no war. Nobody was complaining about their bills. You know, bills was decent. They was doing whatever. But he's no different than any other white president, because all of them been white men. What make him the devil? All these horrible things gonna happen. All these horrible things gonna happen. The end of the world because of Donald Trump in office. Where's all this fear? Where's this fear mongering coming from? When there's no evidence, there's no proof. We don't black people going back into slavery. And I done heard all kinds of crazy stuff because this man. Now I actually applaud, because there's a lot of black men that voted for Trump for whatever reason. I saw, now what's embarrassing, I saw a fool like Charleston Brown, what's his name, Charleston White. I saw a video of him and all the Xavier has arrived. Someone, he was talking, acting silly. I think it's a good thing that black men decided to leave the Democratic Party. But there, Trump, don't stop there. Don't stop at leaving that. You need to start looking out for your own self. He's not your savior. If you did things right, I believe that you are in a position that out of all the presidents, he's the one that'll be able to give you something that you can work on, that you can build off of. Because the Democratic Party already told you, I ain't giving you no right, I'm not doing a damn thing for you. They already said it outright. So why is Donald Trump the savior? As a man, I don't trip on what black women want. They're not supposed to be the leaders. The leaders are supposed to be the men. And the men, you roll with the Republican Party. A lot of people see these people as saviors. That's all, saviors. And they voted for Trump for economics. I want my turkey to go down and whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's the way they're looking at Trump as some kind of savior. You know, the great white hope. They're not looking out for themselves. How is Donald Trump going to know what you want till you tell him what you want? You don't even know what the hell you want. Most of them just say, I just want a slice of bread to be cheap. Well, I'll do that for you. No big deal. Next, we don't have no plan. We don't have no vision. We don't have nothing. And you know, they're tripping off Kamala Harris as a black woman. She's a black woman technically as far as black is concerned, but she's not a black American. She's not a descendant of slave. And she does this chameleon thing. They will black when it's necessary. They'll talk about their white side when it's necessary. She'll be an Indian when it's necessary. Then she'll be black when it's necessary. Flip-flopper, a race flip-flopper. And so they calling her black. She's not a black American. She's some kind of Jamaican Indian mix. And all the pictures that I've seen of her, she was flaunting her Indian side. I didn't see her. Even Hillary Clinton was running around with hot sauce in her pocketbook. She didn't show herself as some kind of the black side of her, the Jamaican side of her. So, all that was nothing but a bunch of hype. They put on a bunch of concerts. And like I said in my earlier video, they're out of touch with the people themselves, because she's not going to be able to win the presidency without flipping some of Trump's supporters. She lost unlike Hillary, she lost the popular vote. She also lost the vote of first-time voters who never voted before. Trump got that too, over 50%. First-time voters, he got that because she's not in touch. She wasn't in touch with the masses of the people. She was only in touch with those who were like her. Like I said earlier, just like black leadership in this country, the people that's supposed to be black leadership, they only in touch with those who think like them. They're not in touch with black people, because a lot of black people don't give a damn about Umar Johnson and his Pan-Africanism. They could care less. They don't care about Elijah Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. And the 40 million in this country is not interested. That's just a little handful of folks. Dr. Umar Johnson, he's the want to be the leader of black people. Only a few thousand, maybe a million might listen to you, know who you are. And they're not interested in that Pan-African stuff. The masses of black people in this country are not going to accept being no Pan-African, no African. They're not interested in it. They just want a decent house to live in. I want to go to a decent school. I just want to live a decent life. All this other stuff that you want to convert me to, I'm not interested in that. You cannot be a leader unless you communicate to everybody in this country. The gay community, the bisexual community, whatever you want to call them, everybody in here in this country is different. You're going to have to learn because you are the leader of them all. And she didn't speak to them all. She only spoke to those who like Beyonce. She spoke to those who like Oprah Winfrey. She spoke to those who like Taylor Swift. She didn't speak to, because I know she wasn't speaking to me. And she didn't ask. She didn't ask. What can I say? She didn't ask the Trump supporters. What can I do to get your vote? She didn't even ask them. What can I get you to come to my side? She didn't even ask them. I don't care. Because of all that hype, thousands of people come to see her and all this other stuff, and Usher and Meg Thee Stallion and all this other stuff. It was a horrible election day. It was terrible. Now, even with all that said, she put up a good fight. You can't take that away from her. But she had all that baggage coming, 4 years. She's part of that 4 years. She can't just say, I'm going to do things different unless you can prove it, and she's not going to be able to prove it. She's part of the 4-year Biden administration. You're vice president. There's nothing in the news where it said Kamala Harris disagrees with Joe Biden. Out of all the 4 years, there's no report where there's tension between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. You don't hear that. So she's part of all that. And the American people have spoken and said, we don't want no more of that. We'd rather take a chance with Trump because you don't have no other. What other option you got? They keep going with the nothing from the last 4 years. I know what Trump is about. I was there in 2016. There's nothing shocking. Well, you know what Trump gonna do, and Trump gonna do this. Well, we got 2016 to 2020. Where's all this stuff that you talk about? It's coming. That's my position on that. This is fear mongering. And like I said, for me, take advantage of the time. Take advantage of this man because he's unorthodox. He's not traditional. He's shown that he will talk to you, and they don't say everything about this man. Pardoned a lot of black people during his time. They don't bring that up. This man let a black woman live in his big shot apartments in Mississippi for free. I'm not in Mississippi, in New York. He let her live there for free. It's a lot of things. There's a lot of pictures of Oprah Winfrey smiling and sniggling with this man and a whole lot of these other suckers. Then now all of a sudden, Trump is the bad guy. He wasn't the bad guy. He wasn't the bad guy when you was using his celebrity to build your brand. Now all of a sudden he's the bad guy. Michael Jackson, I think Michael Jackson was with got pictures with Donald Trump. Donald Trump was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now all of a sudden he's the big boogeyman. He's the racist. The whole country been racist. So what? See, our problem is we don't know how to take advantage of nothing. So what if I don't give a damn what he is. Everything has a weak spot. And you take advantage of the weak spot. The problem is you don't know how to do that. You gotta take the bread, the sandwich, just how they give it to you. You don't know how to make your own damn sandwich. Being dependent on these people. They be coming to you instead of us going to them. Because it's 40, 50 million in here in the country. This don't make no sense. But instead of fighting for what's yours, we'll make videos. Oh, Donald Trump gonna kill us. They prejudice against a black woman and blah, blah. They've been there for 300 years. So what? Take advantage of the tool, like Malcolm said, by any means necessary. Take advantage of the tools that your enemy gives you, but you don't know how. You waiting on them. You waiting on them to give you what you want. And you keep waiting on them, it'll be another 300 years. You got to take what you want. You got to be smart enough to beat them at their own game. That's why I'm talking to you right now. Because I was smart enough to beat them at their own game. All this fear mongering. Get to work. Get to work. Sacrifice. Die if you want to. If you have to. But we nothing but beggars. Lazy, sitting around doing nothing but expect somebody to give you something on a silver platter. That's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Now all of a sudden, because Donald Trump is president, all these horrible things, I guess the aliens finally going to attack America now that Donald Trump is in office. All these horrible things. And, you know, you said that we're going to be more divided than ever. We've never been together. How are you going to divide something that never was together? We've never been together in this country. If we was together in this country, we would be in a much better position. Go back to the civil rights era. Dr. King was doing his thing. Malcolm did his thing. Everybody went their own thing. There was no unity. And then you had an attitude, somebody with an attitude like Elijah Muhammad. I'm the leader. I'm the from behind me, Huey P. Newton and all these other people. I'm the leader. The God came and taught me. That's the type of attitude you had to deal with. Doing that thing, everybody doing that thing, blah, blah, blah. We've never been together. So how are we going to divide something and we never was together to begin with? We never was, never. When we left the slave out, people left the slave plantation, we went together. This group went that way. This group, they never stayed together and said, this is what we're gonna do. This group went their way. This group, that's why these towns, that's why we're easily destroyed. That's why it's easy to go to Rosewood, destroy it. It's easy to go to Black Wall Street, destroy it, because we're not together. They would have thought twice attacking Black Wall Street if they thought the 15 to 20 million, they're going to have a problem with the 15 to 20 million. But they knew Black Wall Street on their own because we're not together. I got mine, and we still have the same attitude right now. I got mine, you get yours. We've never been together and don't want to be together because we have all these different agendas we want to push because we really don't care about the people. These folks only care about themselves, what I want. And that's why Kamala Harris lost, because really it was about what I want and not about what the people. You're not listening. That's telling you that's not what I want. What make you different from Biden? There was no different. Same thing. The only thing they was trying to sell her as a black woman and pushing that narrative. And ain't nobody interested in that. So I came about this earlier. You know, you was talking about the emotion. That's where it come from. You know, emotion do not make you think properly when you're acting on emotion. And all this crying and blah, blah. Even the ones that won, they hooping and hollering. Or they emotional. Do you know what you're actually getting into? But I don't see Trump being no different than any other Caucasian president. I don't see him doing nothing no different. He's not gonna do nothing no different than anybody else. I don't think just because he's in the White House, these Negroes out here shooting and killing each other, they've been doing that even before Donald Trump was born. They was doing that when I was growing up. The only difference now is the media. You know more now. We was killing each other when I was a little boy, shooting each other, acting silly, dumb. They even made movies about it. Superfly. Those black exploitation films. That wasn't no love film. That was us exploiting each other, killing and murdering each other. And that was when I was growing up. They always done it. You can ask your mothers and sisters how many relatives that died black on black crime when we was growing up. Ain't nothing changed, except now you got social media. It can be faster. More things can be reported that we did not know of. I was at I went to see the sheriff in my community one time. And I didn't believe how many crimes I did not know nothing about on my street. It was happening on my crimes. And it's a lot of stuff that you don't even know. And it's happening right there on your street, under your nose. You don't even know nothing about it. So, all this stuff about what Trump gonna do, blah, blah, blah. And why you blaming Trump? He can't do it by himself. A whole lot of backup. And let's say, for instance, if it's true, what about it? Just sit back and cry. So what you gonna do about it? If we know this, so what you gonna do about it? Since you know all these things, what you gonna do about it? So what's this talking about it? When locked up, and I was talking a whole bunch of crap. They told me, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? I called them Adolf Hitler, the children of Adolf Hitler. It made me feel good. And when I finished my mouth, they said, what you gonna do about it? You know, I had to think about that, and you know, I shut up. What's the sense of calling Adolf Hitler and calling him all these names, and I'm still locked up? I still got to get my ass up and go to breakfast in the morning. I still got to take a shower and bath when they tell me I can't do it. I'm still in their control. They don't care about me calling them names. I call them the devil. They say, yeah, but I go home every night. Yeah, I'm a devil. This go home every night to my family. Thanksgiving, we having turkey and dressing. Your ass having processed turkey and them mashed potatoes that come out the box, them flakes. That's what you having. And then we're gonna sing Christmas carols or whatever. What you gonna do about it? So if we know all these things, like they talk about the Illuminati and all this crap too. I don't know how these know about the Illuminati and all these secret societies. I thought a secret, I don't know. The unknown. I thought that's what a secret. But all these folks know all this stuff. So my question is, what are you gonna do about it? And I've been hearing this for years. Until this day, they ain't did a damn thing. That conspiracy theory. So what you gonna do about it? You know all this information. I don't know where you got it from. So what you gonna do about it? If you're not gonna do nothing about it, what's the sense of talking about it? What are we talking about stuff for? You're not gonna do nothing about it. That what gets me. We know so much. We know so much, but we don't know enough how to change the condition, how to change nothing. All that we know how to do is complain. Complain to the people that put you in the condition, that's keeping you in the condition. That's who you're complaining to. It makes no sense to me at all. Savior. So I talked about this earlier. And I can speak because you should not be dependent on them anyway. It don't make no difference who the president is. But this is nothing but entertainment. And pretty soon it'll be forgotten. All these videos and crying and whimpering, emotional, just like when black folks die. Ain't nobody talking about George Floyd, and I don't know when. He's dead, he's gone. It's over. And that's how we do. We get emotional and we cry, and then it's right back to the slave plantation business as usual. That's our mentality. That's how we do. Let me go find Umar Johnson. Let me find an old Farrakhan video. Let me keep Malcolm X, because he's gone. You see, you watch the same old Malcolm X videos and tapes and speeches over and over and over again. Still say the same thing about Marcus Garvey. Over the same stuff, over. They can't bring you nothing new. I'm a Michael Jackson. I don't listen to Michael Jackson like that. He can't produce nothing new. How long am I going to keep times I listen to Beat It and Billie Jean over and over and over again? But this is the pattern of behavior that we have. What is it? I ask the question, what is it they expect from Kamala Harris except more lies, more deceit? What did Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, the last 4 years, what did they give you? What did they do for you? And of course, they blame Trump for that. Trump stopped that and blah, 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 blah. This man got incredible power. He's incredible. He got more power than the Hulk. We caught up in this fairy tale crap. I say concentrate on yourself. If necessary, create your own political party. It's 40 million of us in this country. Why we can't have our own party? We should have our own party and put our own candidate there. And even if our candidate cannot win, he or she has a lot of influence because 40 million backed this person up. So you're going to give us something. We don't think that way. I would say, now this is my opinion. If we're able to create our own party and have our own, I'm telling you, whoever that person is, I'm saying if he does it right, they can win. Because Caucasian people in this country, a lot of them are sick of the Democrats and the Republicans. They're sick of them. But they don't have no choice. Like Elijah Muhammad told Malcolm, give a man a clean water, he has no choice but to drink out of that. You give him a clean glass of water, they prefer the clean water. You're in a position of clean water. You will be able to flip some of the Democrats to our side and the Republicans to our side. And win the presidency. And so when the first black man or woman, or rather the first black woman, if our choice is a female, she make it, she'll win because we back up. And she's real. She's not no dream. And you know she got there and she's going to look out for our benefit for a change. Kamala Harris, if she became president, she's not going to look out for you. She don't give a damn. But yours, who you made, look out for you. And you got citizens in this country, you said the right thing, and they benefit. Hell yeah, I'm voting for that Black Democratic Party or whatever name that we choose for that party. Like what Fannie Lou Hamer tried to do in Mississippi in her day. People are sick of both of them. So give something better to drink. But no, you still want to keep dirty ass water. And so you keep getting dirty ass results. This brother Taalib's live stream, I done took it over.
Yeah, man. You know, man, I'm gonna say this here, man. You know, basically right now, to tell you the truth, man, I wasn't all that keen on Kamala Harris. I said it before the election, and I'll say it after the election, you know. But I was, like you said, one of those caught up in that fear-mongering thing, you know. And yeah, actually, man, I tell you, you know, she definitely didn't go to the Black communities to talk. She didn't directly talk to those in the Black community, like in the hoods and the ghettos. You know what I'm saying? Right. And see, people don't look at that. Trump did go into the ghettos. If you really want to know the truth, he went to the Detroit ghetto. And I think in some other cities where he was actually invited into actual Black neighborhoods, low-income neighborhoods, to talk to the people. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, she didn't even do that much from what I saw. And so really, at the end of the day, man, I should have not relied on my feelings, you know, which really don't nobody give a damn about anyway. Because either way, things is gonna be whatever it's gonna be, you know.
Yeah.
My thing is that like, man, it's like you know when I look at the whole scenario of the situation, and like you said, yeah, we as soul people were never together to begin with, you know. But I guess what I was trying to make out of that was because of the feelings, people call up in their feelings, you're gonna have this ongoing animosity, I say. And really, truthfully said, we don't need that animosity. We need to come together and say, well then listen, we on our own. So since we know we on our own, let's do something then for ourselves for finally wanting to change, you know, without depending on somebody else to do it for us, you know. And that's the main thing that should be focused on right now. But you know, like you say, slaves is gonna continue being slaves with that mentality, you know.
Yeah.
Like you say, killing each other, selling dope to each other, or you know what I'm saying? All that kind of craziness, you know. So I mean, like you said, and you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that was going on when you was growing up, because you was born a few years before I was in the 60s. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I used to hear people actually say that killings and stuff in the black communities went down during the 60s. You know, other than what people would say, well, you didn't have that many killings because black people was involved in the civil rights movement and other different things. But from my understanding, you know, when I look at movies like American Gangster with Frank Lucas, who was a black drug kingpin in Harlem, Bumpy Johnson, who was way before him back in the what, 40s or something like that, back in the 20s or 40s. And he actually knew Malcolm X on the streets in Harlem too.
Right.
Before Malcolm X, you know, got out of that stage of his life, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, you actually had them type of people among us back then, you know, that was doing that. Pimping, whoring, prostituting, all that was going down, you know? So, like you said, nothing ain't changed but the times. It's always been like that. You know? And this guy and these people I just mentioned wasn't the only ones. You had numerous of them around the country during those particular periods of time before we come along. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, it wasn't talked about as much because we didn't have social media back then. You know, but yeah, and now through social media, you starting to hear about what happened back then. You know. You know, you even had the Black Mafia in Philadelphia back in the 60s. And a lot of the brothers in the Nation of Islam there was involved directly with that. You know, had their hand in that all kind of ways, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, we was definitely we've always been on that trend for a long time. You know, that's why no generation can talk down about any other generation, because we all came from the same situation, but it was just a different era. But we all came from the same circumstances at the end of the day, and unfortunately, our future generations that's with us here now, you know. And then what's going to be next for their children and grandchildren? You see what I'm saying? So somebody got to stop the cycle from continuing. But, you know, like you said, though, the reality is that this has been going on for a long time. So it shouldn't be no surprise to people, you know, and stuff like that. And I just say that, you know, because I even look at, you know, brothers in their 70s and 80s, man. And it's like they still got that type of mentality. I'm like, you know, and I look at I look at them like, how can y'all even say anything about the younger generation? Look at y'all. Y'all still trying to do, you know, be gangsters, hustlers, and pimps in your 70s and 80s. How the younger generation supposed to respect that? You know what I'm saying? You know, and then you call yourself trying to you know, give some admonishment, a pep talk to somebody, you know, about no, but you set the example. So who are you to even tell? That's why a lot of these young people got the attitude like, you gotta get your old such out my face. You can't tell me nothing, you know. and really that, and they right, you know. That's like me and you trying to tell one of these 90s or early 2000 millennials something, you know. They ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? They might, and these one they might just put a gun up to your head like, what you talking to? Do I know you? You know? Yeah, so you know, I man, hey, you know, I definitely understand that one, you know, and this is why when you mention, man, about Donald Trump not being any different than any other Caucasian president, evidence definitely clearly spell that out, which don't need to be really further explained, you know. And I talked to a brother recently, you know, and he was giving me pep talk about the history of the Democratic Party, which was something I had already knew, that they was actually started behind the Ku Klux Klan. That's right. Forming, yeah, because when during the time of the Reconstruction era in this nation after the Civil War, blacks were beginning to make gains in the South, like we talked about, how they was trying to create their own little towns and stuff, and doing something similar to what we trying to do with the Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign. They was trying to do that then, but when and at the time, Republicans was in power. You know what I'm saying? But when they lost and the Democrats took over in Washington, that's when the federal troops had to leave the South, because them the ones that kept our people down there protected, you know, so that they could be able to make gains, you know, and different stuff like that, you know, and why them, you know, former, you know, overseers for slave owners was looking at them like, how in the hell is these niggas doing more than we doing, gaining more than we got? You know, no, we got to do something about this, you know. And when the Democrat Party was formed, when they became more, you know, prominent and stronger, all that changed. So, you know, I had to even be reminded of that part of the history of the Democratic Party, you know. And like you said, the only time they really did something for us was during the time when Lyndon Baines Johnson was in there, because even Kennedy didn't follow up on getting any type of civil rights legislation passed. It had to take Lyndon Johnson to do it after he got assassinated, you know, because he definitely wasn't trying to rush to pass no civil rights legislation. He was already in there about, what, a couple of years until he got killed. And then when Johnson came in, you know, and signed those two civil rights legislation bills, you know, that was it. Other than that, after that, you really never heard no Democratic president really under any Democratic presidential administration that really did anything for us solidly ever since then. You know, I would have to say maybe the only one that kind of kept certain things in place maybe was Jimmy Carter, but he wasn't that much different either, you know. He wasn't that because he had some policies too that were aimed toward which people don't talk about. They talk about Richard Nixon, who was a Republican president before him, but they don't talk about Jimmy Carter, helped advance that agenda, that war on drugs agenda against us. And then when Reagan got in there, then that's when he finished it off, when the crack era hit. You see what I'm saying? So, a lot of people, a lot of people don't really look at that side of the situation. They only want to look at certain things that they want to look at, but they don't want to look at all the sides of that situation that played a part in the whole scheme of things, you see. So at the end of the day, and then when listen, what happened with Bill Clinton was in there. Joe Biden was one of the main authors of that crime reform bill. That still destroyed, that still has many individual lives destroyed to this day. Families was destroyed by that law. Do you know how many families in this country were destroyed by that law? And some of them same people, like you mentioned earlier, Trump pardoned them. I don't know. I don't know. It's because he saw injustice in that, or whatever reason he was doing that for, but he actually pardoned them. Something Obama didn't even attempt to do. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't do nothing.
So, no, he didn't do nothing. No, he didn't do nothing. Matter of fact, Obama straight up told you, listen, black people get over it. Basically.
I heard that.
Yeah, so and let me tell you something else Obama did that a lot of people forgot. He actually signed a law into legislation that any American could be arrested for indefinite time, whether it's on U.S. soil or foreign soil. A lot of people don't remember that. Yeah, go Google it up. Yeah. So they want to talk about how demonic Trump is going to be. You better understand. You better understand. We was up under a Democratic president who wasn't a Caucasian, and he was doing some things that I was really crazy, and see, and here's the thing about it too. He didn't put nothing in and it was a lot of us that was getting killed in the streets at the hands of police. That's where all that Black Lives Matter movement came in at up under him. You see,
that's right.
Because he wasn't doing nothing. That didn't start in Trump's first administration. That started up under Obama's administration. So I mean, when people want to talk about different stuff like that, man, I mean, they got to really look at the actual facts, as they say that's what they are about, the actual facts. When they look at the actual facts, then, and it will show you that actually your Democratic presidents wasn't about nothing. And Joe Biden, all he did, what he do, is apologize for that Crime Reform Act bill that he helped Bill Clinton sign into legislation. Well, see, he didn't do nothing to undo that wrong either. Since he been in office, he ain't made no official attempts to do anything about that. And that's the reason why he was looking bad before he finally stepped out of the campaign race for re-election, because he the reason why blacks got tired of Democrats and decided to go vote Republican. because they saw that, look, y'all ain't got nothing in our best interest. What are we voting for you for continuously? You know, so yeah, I mean, you know, it's always room open for growth to learn, and I'm learning to understand where a lot of these people are coming from with that. And I tell you, man, hey, listen, you know what? I hear a lot of people say it wasn't Biden's fault that inflation is still up and whatever and this and that. But hey, look, man, neither here nor less. Whatever happened when Trump get in there, we got to do what we got to do. We on our own, okay? And at least, like you say, we do got somebody who will be back in the White House that will listen to somebody from amongst us. We like you. I'm gonna piggyback what you said. We ain't see no prominent black people in the White House under Joe Biden's administration in the office holding a conference or meeting with him about what he gonna do for us. You see what I'm saying? You ain't hear him call Ice Cube to the White House, Kanye West to the White House. You ain't hear him even call Jay-Z to the White House. Matter of fact, your boy L. Sharpton, you ain't even hear him call him to the White House. Oh, man, listen. About now you seen L. Sharpton in the White House when Obama was there, but you notice you didn't even see not one time that I hear L. Sharpton, you understand, being at the table with other so-called leaders from among us in that White House with Joe Biden. But you seen it all through Donald Trump's administration when the first time he was in there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And see, people don't look at that. And then people don't look at that. And then when you bring that up to them, the first thing gonna say, well, there ain't nothing but coons and this and that or whatever. Yeah. That's what okay, within right, exactly. Why if that's the case, then why did he listen to somebody like Ice Cube? First of all, okay, no more left to say. No more to say. We already know what that. You see what I'm saying? So Kanye West, come on. A college dropout. He even admitted in his own rap song. You see what I'm saying? You know? Yeah, man, come on. What a college dropout, you understand, doing in the White House in the Oval Office talking to a president of the United States. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jim Brown, you know.
That's right. Jim Brown was there.
And another thing too. And another thing about that situation too, man, is that. Guess who else he had in there with him? He had former world black heavyweight or boxing champion, current and former heavyweight champions, standing behind him while he was signing the bill to overturn Jack Johnson's federal conviction. If anybody don't know about Jack Johnson, in the very early part of the 20th century, he was the first black heavyweight champion of the world, and they created a federal law specifically for him called the Man's Act because he was being accused of transporting white women across state lines. And at that time, it was forbidden for, of course, black men to be courting white women. Talking about doing Jim Crow, right? During the time of Jim Crow. And they specifically created that law for him, which he had to end up doing a little time for, and they kept that, but because of the injustice, they still denied the injustice part, and they kept that on this record. And Donald Trump, and you know, it was a push for a long time, even before Donald Trump got in there, to get that, you know, off that man. to get that you know, stench erased off that man's life, you know, history, even though he's gone. But the fact of the matter is, you went through several presidents to try to get it done. Even your other Democrat presidents like Bill Clinton, Obama. Obama didn't even elect to do that. They brought it to him. They tried to bring it, the proposal to him. He refused to even look at it, let alone do anything about it. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, we can say whatever we want to say about Donald Trump. When you're looking at certain things, he done.
Exactly.
And like you said, he actually helped. He pardoned quite a bit of black people, you know, who would have still been sitting in that system for life until I guess they croaked or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you know, I mean that is something to look at.
Taalib, he Trump pardoned that mayor of Detroit. Remember?
Yeah, Kwame Kilpatrick. Yes, he did. Yeah.
He pardoned him.
Yeah. Yep. And he was 7 years into a 21-year sentence. Yeah. Nah, wait a minute. Wait, hold up. He was 7 years into a 28-year sentence. Almost 30 years we talking about. Yeah. So, yeah. So, I mean, you know, yeah, man. I mean, you know, we gotta look at things for what it is, man.
I want to say,
but you know, I don't want to be on here for long because I do have some important things to do. But I definitely want to chime in on this one, man. Just to help to give input and insight into why people, you know, shouldn't be, like you say, caught up in the fear mongering thing. Because he gonna be just like any other Caucasian president in that White House. So it ain't no sense in panicking. you know what's gonna happen with it, right? Because what's gonna happen is what's gonna happen anyway. Like you said, did he have us in slavery? Was a lot of us getting lynched?
Right.
Yeah, I know a lot of us getting killed by the police. Yeah, I know a lot of us getting killed by the police, but just imagine them unsolved murders. At least some of them murders by the police got solved. We don't know if them lynchings got solved. Any of them. We don't know if any of them lynchings got. Yeah. So
I just want to say in conclusion, you know, my thing, and I've said this on our program all the time. You know, if you're gonna tell the story, if we're gonna tell the story, tell the whole story. Don't tell just enough. That's what they do in religion, whatever. They talk about things just enough to support their narrative, their belief. They won't tell the whole story. If you want to talk about Trump and call him a racist and all like that, tell the whole story, like we've been trying to talk today, you know, tonight. Tell the whole story. Don't bits and pieces to support your narrative. Tell the whole thing. You know, when you talk about Elijah Muhammad, tell the whole story. Like you said, the Nation of Islam, those brothers in Philadelphia, called the Black Mafia.
Yeah.
They was involved. And Elijah Muhammad turned the other way. That was a small temple, and they was bringing some big-time charity to temple number 2. Now, you know those people, you got a small amount of people. Where they getting all this money? They had to be doing something illegal. Elijah Muhammad didn't care. He turned the other way. He turned the other way. Also, at the same time, and he was leaving a lot of things in other people's hands. He was depending on them to be, you know, his eyes and ears. So, you know, you can't say that Elijah Muhammad, man, and that take advantage of you. So So I brought that up because I'm telling the whole story. Because I cannot just say, oh, Elijah Muhammad was corrupt. He turned the other way. He knew he was also sickly, and he was leaving things in his eyes and ears, and they doing other. He might in the long run, but we know that they got away with a lot. That's why they didn't really like Malcolm, because Malcolm knew about a lot of these things. And they didn't want Malcolm to mess up the good stuff they had going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because Malcolm, they knew Malcolm probably was going to break it all up.
Mm-hmm.
See, under Elijah Muhammad, they could get away with it. But they knew under Malcolm was a younger person, had a lot of fire. He wasn't going for it. You saw Malcolm was a very disciplined person. Malcolm, actually, the people that knew Malcolm, they said Malcolm did 1 meal a day for real.
Mm-hmm.
He followed the teachers. It wasn't no the coroner that did the autopsy. They reported that Malcolm's flesh. They said they never seen human flesh look so clean before, because that's how Malcolm lived. Malcolm followed those teachings. So I just want to say before we get out of here, if you want to tell a story, let us tell the whole story so that we can make the proper decision. You can't make a proper decision or come to the proper conclusion if you don't know the whole story. That's why a lot of people sit in jail right now. They wasn't able to, the whole story was not told. All the evidence wasn't presented. So they sitting because the jury never heard. It's not the fact that the jury wanted to convict them. They had no choice because they wasn't given the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are just people, we should want to be just. Tell the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Now people like us, because we want to hear the whole story. We're not going to sit around here and just let you talk all this fairy tale, kumbaya crap. And we're going to ask, okay, well, what about that? What about that? Blah, blah. You're not telling the whole story, especially when I know. That's why I say this. It just came to me. I'm not going to keep us long. See, we were more kinder back then, too. Now, that's true, especially in the South. Because remember, the South has the reputation of Southern hospitality. So, it was kinder. It was a kinder time. Yeah, all those criminal activity was going on, but we were kinder. But I think that was more, but we were more kinder to each other out in the rural areas. The city was always violent and fast moving. The cities. But the country out in the rural areas, everybody basically knew each other and stuff like that. It didn't have a lot of going on. That wasn't happening. But in the cities was much different. And those movies, Superfly, and all those black exploitation, all those are all those are set in the city. None of those movies are set in the country, but now you can go into the country. I remember I went back to Mississippi not too long ago, to Greenwood, and they said Greenwood is rough now. And Greenwood is not a city. It's like a big town. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not a city. But it used to be quiet and whatever. I was raised in that area. They said it's not that no way now. They really be clowning.
I was just talking to a brother recently here, and he's from Mississippi, and he said he went down there, went through some of them little small towns down there, where it's a lot of us. He said it was wild. It was straight up crazy. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. Plus, I lived in the rural area in a little small town in Arkansas. So I definitely know what you're talking about. Them little towns are definitely not what they were, like you said, back during that period of time, They far gone from that period of time of what they were then in the 60s, like you said.
Yeah, we could. During the holidays, you could probably go your Thanksgiving dinner from your neighbors. You could actually buy from somebody. Get this over here, get some crap. And just from borrowing from the neighbor, around and got your Thanksgiving meal.
And I'm gonna tell you something, man. This back we talking about 21 years ago when I was down there in that little small town in Arkansas. I actually knocked on somebody's door, and they actually opened up the door and said, "Brother, can I help you?" And he said, and I said, he said, "I can give you a plate of Thanksgiving food." Gave me a plate of Thanksgiving food. Didn't even know me. Yeah. Yeah. Straight up gave me a plate of Thanksgiving food. Did not even know me. We talking in the early 2000s. The very early beginning of the 2000s we're talking about.
And
So if you know, if it was like that then, imagine how it was in the 60s and 70s. I bet it was super kinder then to a certain point.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
I lived it, so I can say that it was kinder. It was kinder. But a lot of these things people talk about, these younger people didn't live there. They got this fantasy that it was so fantastic and great. I said, where y'all getting your information from? So beautiful. People was together and loved each other. Where you getting your information from? And then you looking at the movie called The Mac. The Mac tell you what was going on, wasn't that great? That was, these things was going on. Our men was they was out of sisters. So where is the fantasy world back in the day when stuff like this all was back in the day? I don't know where y'all living in. I lived it. And I'm telling you, that's not the deal with.
Yeah.
Happy. You had a lot of people, a lot of women, especially in they had put up a lot of because women didn't start getting rights to really able to do for themselves in the 70s. So they had to get married to someone to take care. Women couldn't even have a bank account without until 1973, I believe. She couldn't have her own bank account.
Yeah.
So a woman associated with a man, in order to get out that man, she couldn't.
Right.
So what's happening? Joy in the or whatever in the 80s, way back then, that wasn't a happy time. A lot of women had to do to survive because they didn't have no damn choice.
Exactly.
They didn't have no choice. A lot of these men knew that, and they would go out and whoremong, and then go back to their wife, and the wife knew they was out whoremonging, but she couldn't do nothing about it. That's your daddy, that's Papa was a Rolling Stone. Remember that song?
Yeah. Yep.
Papa was a Rolling Stone, They don't roll too much with some of these women nowadays. Matter of fact, some of these women will kill you. They roll, tell us some Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and take us out of here, and I'll just go ahead and get ready to,
I basically, I just want to just close out with this, that, like I said, do what you got to do. We on our own, and let's make it happen. That's all I could say. And with that, I'm out of here. Peace.
All right. Peace.